Hey besties, this is like my fourth time uh, filming this because I keep getting interrupted. Um, but I wanted to start off this year with a Authortube Newbie Tag. I'm going to give thanks to Jenna Streety who did this originally. Somebody else wrote this out, and I'm just going to give you thoughts off the dome. And I've prepped this a couple times, but basically, I'm going to go through all these little bullet points because I want to grow my channel this year. Tell your friends, like and subscribe. You want the dad jokes, and you want me to tell you weird Weaver stories. I can tell you some weird Weaver stories. All right, so Authortube Newbie Tag. I'm a writer. I've been writing since 2019. And what's my book's pitch? So I've written 18 books. 3 are out available. 1 is in print. Hopefully that changes by the end of this year. Imagine Wagons is if there was a long campaign that was also kind of doomed to fail at the start because the gods summoned way too many heroes far too late into the thing. It is a deck builder. I'm known for writing deck builders. I'm also known for writing in second, and fourth person. But that's not in here. That's more of my short story work. So if you like Found Family, if you like deck builders, this is a combination of all the skills by Honore and the Evil Hat production, Evil Hat group, whatever. It is a TTRPG called Band of Blades. The series is called Caravan of Blades because they spend most of it in the caravan, traveling across the country to try to save themselves. Yeah, that's my favorite one right now because that's out. Hopefully, I'll have between 6 and 10 books out by the end of next year. They're all written, pending dev edits. If I were a book, how would I pitch myself? Well, I write about found family and existential risk, so you'll see a lot of that. I also write comedy. I've tried to not write comedy. I write comedy, even if there's serious comedy kind of cuts the tension a little bit. But yeah, like you can see, like I'm wearing a shirt that's got a cat riding a t-shirt. I don't take myself too seriously in this. I'm enjoying the thing I write. I enjoy reading silly books. I'm reading Box and Isekai, and there's a lot of silly shit in there. It's very serious, but like there's a lot of silly shit in there, and I like that. I usually write number 3. I usually write sci-fi or fantasy. Usually it's kind of contemporary urban fantasy right now, but this is a fantasy. The book I'm writing right now is a Roman era tech with lit RPG skills, which I also write, which is kind of its own genre. Yeah, what's something I'll never write? I don't really write horror. I've written it before. I don't really write romance. I'll write romantasy. I might write romance. Who knows? What's my goal of starting an Authortube channel? Grow my following. Talk to people that have issues writing, especially rebels. If you don't know what a rebel is, you should take the quiz. Gretchen Rubin has a quiz about it. 4 tendencies. I'm not going to go into it here. I have a coaching video for each of the 4 tendencies for writers. If you're a writer and you're like struggling to write, and you probably would be served by that. I was a personal trainer for like over a decade, and I've tried like to use some of those lessons there, combine that with that, and organizational techniques I learned in the Army to get more out of people. Right now, I do an accountability group every week. We check in. We say like how many words we've done, what are we doing next, what we're struggling with, wins, losses, victories, glory. I find it helps me to do that. I'm more of the guy who checks in with people, and then people like I will ping everybody in that, and then they'll all be like, okay, this is what I actually did, and that helps me because I'm like, all right, I'm doing my thing, but we're all doing our thing together separately, right? What made me want to start writing? So I was deployed to Africa. My son was born in 2019. In 2020, I was scheduled to come back, and we left. We got stuck in country an extra 2 weeks, so I was there. Started D&D group. I mean, Forever Dungeon Master. I wasn't, so I'm running things, and it was a good like creative outlet. I've done it a lot. I just started up a new group recently. The kids are old enough, and they have bedtime strictly. Had a D&D group. Things are going well. Went to Texas for 2 weeks, quarantine. This was before the vaccine came out. Went home for 2 weeks, for quarantine, and like this girl torpedoed my D&D campaign. She just did not know how to play. It was on a team player, and I had like 12 to 20 people circulate through, and like each one of them kind of left, and I would kind of tell like why they left. And I was used to like big parties at the time, so like it was a great time because it was lockdown time. But then like I had all this creative energy, and I was sitting in quarantine, and this girl imploded my stuff. So I started writing the Badger Company, and I did it out of spite. So I do a lot of things out of spite. What made me? Yeah, so that's why I want to start writing spite, because I was like, I can't. I was just like stir crazy, sitting above the garage in my in-laws' house after my deployment, waiting to see my son and my wife. Anyway, things are much better now. What's my publishing path? So I am self-published, and I am traditionally published with Riverfolk Books because I own them. So I don't really talk about that here, but I can talk business. I've been doing a lot of business calls recently with people to help them understand what they should be doing next. If you want to talk to me, send me a DM. I will talk to anybody about anything. Just like talk to me. No charge, unless you want me to run like your whole marketing plan, and then we could talk. But that's not worried about that. What content do I bring to Authortube table? So I'm about accountability for people, and I'm about the process, and I'm about finding your process. My process is this. This might not look like your process, but I want to be descriptive, but not proscriptive, if that helps. So descriptive, this is how I've seen it work, but prescriptive is like, now you should do it this way. So I'm not going to tell you you should do it this way. I'm going to tell you this is a way that you should try, see if this works, and modify it that way for you. All right. So like, should you do it my way? I don't think so. You should do it your way, because writers kind of get into this like flow where they need to be. I'm also going to talk about my books because I will talk about the ridiculous stuff I put. Like I literally have a thing called Bodega Cat, which is about an evil landlord in the system apocalypse. And people are like, you did what? I'm like, I did that because I wanted to. My biggest writing struggle, dev editing, because I have to like sit down and like dedicate like the time. I had to block off the time, and I had to have no distractions to dev edit. Developmental editing is, yeah. Let's see. If I've been on YouTube for a while, what's my biggest Authortube tip? So my biggest Authortube tip is to be consistent. I post a vlog a week about my stuff. You can see how many followers I have right now, but I did not advertise this before. YouTube tries to find the people for your video. You should not be advertising, because it might go to the wrong people. Like my friends don't need to see this. Hey, you know me in real life? No, you don't. If you know me from the internet, yeah, okay, you cool. And I'm looking for new channels to follow. So I do my beta reading through Royal Road, but like I don't know if I'm looking for stuff. People seek me out for marketing stuff for Royal Road and Amazon, And so like consider this my new fresh start. So if you want to talk about Royal Road, you want to talk about the successor of novelizing, I'm here for you. Uh, there is going to be a successor of novelizing. I don't know when novelizing is going to be, but the idea is still there. Yeah, I have a lot of buddies. People, they call me Professor Weaver for a reason. Yes. And anyway, so I think that the other tip is to know your tendency. And if you don't have a writer's critique group, I will find you and I will put you in one. But it's on you to actually do the accountability. Now, on the accountability front, what I do is the same thing I do for when I was a nutrition coach. Once a week, we check in. I'll ping you on Friday. I don't know that daily is, I think daily might be too much. But if you need a daily check in, I can start arranging something like that. But basically, it's like I found it beneficial to me to have a daily writing goal. For most people, that is probably going to be beneficial to them. They might have to think about it. But for rebels, they might want to have 5 different projects, and whatever you write counts. But for me, I'm an upholder, and obligers and questioners like just set a goal, set a low goal to start, and then build the habit. Right? It's just like any other skill. Build a habit slowly, and then you can slowly increase it. So I went from like 500 a day to 2,000 a day, and I've been 2,000 a day for about a month now, and it's gotten really good. Oh, like there are some days when I'm not doing 2,000, but I'm like, that's okay. That's my Authortube newbie tag. So 2026, it's going to be a very interesting year. A lot of life changes coming up. A lot of stuff that I can't anticipate. I have no idea. We will see. But in the comments, say hi. If you want to have schedule a call with me, find me on Discord. I could definitely. I did a couple calls this week, and I'm like, I could definitely do more of those, because I'm like, every time I talk to people, it gets me more energy. And I'm like, just want to be clear, like, there was a documentary out recently called the Indie Author one that's got Robin Sullivan, Michael Sullivan featured prominently. I've talked to Robin Sullivan extensively. She's great people. I am not trying to make money off of other authors. If somebody wants me to like in depth do their book launch marketing, we can talk. But other than that, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So hopefully it'll be a good year. And I want to see a lot of creators on here and stick with it, because if I can write 18 books, you can too. You just need to like figure out your process. I promise there's a way. All right. Well, until the next blog.